All right, folks, we're in the lobby for the grand finals. My chair keeps sinking. I need a new chair. Ugh. This one, I think, is like, when did we get our chairs for gaming chairs? Like 3 years ago? 2 years ago? 2.5? I think 2.5. But anyways, yeah, we're in the lobby for the grand finals. It's Ryung versus Hurricane. It's Ryung versus Adepts.
Shut up. It might be. It might be Ryung versus Colossus.
Oh. BaseTradeTV will be saying, remember for the weekly reset after the cast. If we're talking about WoW, yeah, I always stay awake to open my chest and then I pass the hell out. But yo, Nuclear Precinct, let's play that intro and we'll see you guys soon. All right, welcome back to the Olimoleague Grand Finals. So I have a bit of a chuckle as somebody replied to my Olimoleague tweet. Gave it a bit of a favorite. We get into game number 1. Now, we only dropped the mention of it once before, so I'll do it again real quick. If you guys don't know where this tournament comes from, well, we have sponsors displayed down below. These are our sponsors for the channel. The Olimoleague actually has no sponsors, and I think that's a really, really cool and very rare thing in the tournament scene. But the sponsors, I guess if you want to call them that, are you guys, the Patreons, those who contribute towards the weekly Patreon goal, making these prize pools bigger and better. I mean, for what is over a year and a half now, the Olimoleague has had like the biggest, like there's no question, it has had the biggest weekly and the monthly prize pools. And that's all thanks to you guys for making that possible. We don't share replays from this with our subscribers, so one of the big benefits to being a Patreon is you do get access to some of these really awesome replays. So check out patreon.com/Olimoleague, guys. And of course, if she is lurking in chat, don't be shy. Ask her questions if you need some answers. But let's hop into these intros. Spawning on the bottom right. He's looking pretty good today. It's Hurricane.
Well,
bottom left, I meant. Whoops.
Looking even better in the bottom right. It's Corsair Gear.
I got too excited. I forgot about directions and how they work.
I would not have even noticed, bro.
But I think what's good about this is Hurricane came off of what was, I feel, a really bad showing yesterday. And then like a really awkward off race in like the 4v4s, which, by the way, if you guys missed it, 4v4s happened yesterday. It was amazing. But the point is, he didn't look to be in good form. So the fact that he's getting to the finals, that's already great. If he wins the finals, that's going to be awesome.
That'd be his first win, pretty sure. Ryung, I'm guessing, has won a Olimoleague before. Look at the gold medals on the Wikipedia for Olimoleague.
It's all beyond.
Yes, it's all beyond, and I was going to say mostly Terran. And Ryung has been participating in the Olimoleague since some of the first ones, if not totally religiously, at least every now and then from the get-go.
I didn't have XSplit open like I normally do on the top window, so I kind of forgot Bacon Hero had this stupid portrait people are talking about in chat. I'm like, why are they talking about his portrait? Oh, right, because it's on the stream. Ugh. You think about it, guys, bits would kill him if it were only that easy.
You'll solve the world's problems. No. Oh, Ryung's gonna go for 3 racks opener instead of a Widowmine drop. Which, so it is gonna be Phoenix Adept most likely with the Stargate opener, but people have been mixing it up, so it's not a guarantee yet. But certainly, if you consider that a lot of Protosses do go for Phoenix openers, Oracle openers, you know, both, right? Widowmine drops don't seem to ever be too useful against those. Sometimes they are. Sometimes they're perfect. They bypass the Phoenix, they get split up enough, and they get good shots, but sometimes it really doesn't feel worth it.
Well, I think, when I look at this, right, like, the Widowmine drop, the thing I love most about it, okay, like, maybe that Widowmine grabs a random unit, maybe you get a couple of probe kills, but it's, like, always guaranteed scouting, and for me, I think is, like, really valuable, because as we're witnessing, like, Ryung's not really getting in here with that Reaper. He can't, he just, there's too many adepts, there's overcharge, like, scouting outside of a scan is not going to happen.
That is certainly true. Luckily, the Oracle revealing itself is a scout in and of itself. He had his Marines prepped as, you know, if he wouldn't mind drop or 3-racks opener, or even the 2-1-1, that someone still happens, like, you're best off putting these in defensive positions, even if you swear you scouted a Twilight Council, like,
oh wow,
it's too dangerous not to.
I just realized like the weird variation of this build he's doing, where combat shields and stims getting prioritized over even the factory. So like, there's gonna be no medevacs and starport support. The idea is, I think, defend and then counterattack immediately with as many Marines as you can. And with the combat shields and stim, like, that should actually work for him.
Yeah, for a direct push with more units on the ground that are upgraded, it feels like a direct response to the very common Stargate opener that does appear. I would say more so too on Newkirk. I think like it's like a 60-40 split between Adept and Colossus. Maybe even more lately in Korea, actually. Like maybe an 80-20 split. Jeez. These Adepts a little annoying though, as it did also distract the main base. So Ryung almost got fooled. He almost lost more SCVs. What the fuck?
Okay.
Did you see that?
What, the Adept?
The thing that went across the map. There was like the spell.
Oh, I don't know. I didn't think it glitched out. Maybe I was blinking at the wrong moment, though. I was just going to mention, he did get in there with the Reaper. We didn't get to go pan over and watch. He got a couple of probes, but ultimately not nearly close to 10 like the SCV losses. But this is that problem where the counterattack... Thank you, Montyun, for slaying down the god of North Korea. I was going to mention, though, this is the attack that becomes scary, right? Like, okay, maybe there's an overcharge, maybe there's not. You're kind of banking on the fact that there's a second Oracle, that there may or may not be a Mothership Core. I don't know. But the point is, if it comes down to an army fight, even with sentries, I think the Marines are going to win out. They don't have medevac support, but that's what the combat shields kind of works in. That's the stim.
Yeah, this is like the difference I was talking about. Like, where even though they open up Stargate, it might not be Resident Enclaves Phoenix. A lot of people are transferring over into Blink immediately, or getting Resident Enclaves and Blink after. But the point is, no Phoenixes.
Okay, this was meant to be a blitz that startled him. It didn't. It just ended up being awkward for Ryung.
Yeah, I was gonna say, because that was really awkward for Ryung. But even if he had done damage there, I was gonna talk about how in like a minute's time here, Hurricane's gonna have a lot of production with gateway units. Even if they're not Adepts this time, they're Blink Stalkers. It still is gonna be a lot. And well, Ryung still hasn't really done a lot of damage. Only taken damage so far.
Not to say that he can't still do damage, though. He's actually got quite a bit of army to work with. And while these Marines might not have support, the drop on the main, while these attack into the third, these can kill those pylons very quickly, especially if there's no army units to oppose them. So,
both look very tempting.
Well, this Blink becomes really, really good if it was finished in time.
Yeah, right? That was very scary for Ryung. Luckily for him, Blink wasn't done, but of course seeing that many Stalkers then confirms that it is Blink if the previous fight wasn't telling enough. And he will have to worry about that. But now it's like, Hurricane's got to be going into Resident Enclaves after this, right? Like, still no robotic space, so it's not going to be in a Colossus. And it still will be about overall numbers of gateway units.
That's annoying.
That is very annoying.
This is annoying, too.
Yeah, Missile Turret only, covers it so much. This is nice damage with this Oracle.
I
mean, great damage considering the damage it did earlier.
Well, it's getting a lot more kills than I thought. This was going to be like 1 or 2 SCVs, becomes 6 very quickly. But here we go with the attack on the other side of the map. He's fully brought everything together, so there's no like sneak attack, drop off to the main. This is going to be a big full frontal push, and I feel like +1 on this much bio. Oh god, look at this Adepts melt. But oh no! The stasis trap is so sick!
Absolutely perfect. The Winter Mines are going to get shot, so that's not supposed to happen.
But no friendly fire while the stasis trap's up. Feels good, man.
Here come the Stalkers. They will be able to chase down everything.
But the bio is left without medevac support, and that's where this is going to start falling apart. He wants to get back in there, I think, and time this out, but that surround's too real. There's no saving Private Ryan.
No, he can't even focus fire like a sentry
down
my god.
Time. If it weren't for that stasis trap, I think Ryung would have taken that fight. I'm going to be honest. Like, that was such a good stasis trap.
He definitely would have traded better as the Stalkers were out of position. Yeah.
Ends up being a pretty rough loss, but game number 1 and only game number 1, so it is now a best of 5, guys, no longer a best of 3s, but best of 5s for the finals. Actually, I know the patron got decreased recently, so is that only the monthly finals that was affected, or is that the weeklies too?
I don't know. It depends on what the tier was.
Huh.
What was it? 534 out of 5. Okay, so we're $16 down from the monthly prize pool. Yeah, so it's the monthly prize pool that was hit.
Well, lobby's going up now. Find out what the second map in the series is. Crack my neck all over the place, sitting down for too long. Ah, Proxima.
We haven't seen this today. Holy shit.
I feel like we don't see it hardly ever most of the time.
Ugh.
Oh, Monty and healing up that 1 point of damage. All right, Proxima Station. We'll see you guys soon. Let's hop into it. Game number 2 here in the Olimoleague finals. Spawning here in the bottom left. Robbed of victory. See what we can do here in game 2. It is Ryung.
In the top right is the blue Protoss. He is Hurricane.
Does someone have in chat, if you guys could link that stasis trap highlight from earlier with Patience? Like that one against Ryung just now was pretty sick, but that Patience one is still going to take the cake for me, I think, today.
Well, trapping 5 disruptors, trapping 20 spy bio. Yeah. Disruptors probably win. But it was just an interesting game overall, I suppose. Like, it ended with that stasis trap, but the amount of expectations both players had and how they had to change the game up probably was kind of interesting as well. I mean, I brought up that Protosses aren't just going for Stargate or Adept Phoenix after the Stargate, although that can still be a very common follow-up. They're changing it over to Resident Enclave's Blink, or just to Blink, or maybe there's even a variation where you go to Colossus after, I don't know, but it also might have been a response to what Ryung did. Never quite know unless we asked them directly. But Ryung was supposed to definitely get more damage done with his Blitz, with his second Blitz, with his mass amount of units, and instead was foiled at every turn. And he took way too much damage from the Oracle.
Yeah, actually the Oracle was more surprising because I thought he did a really good job at deflecting the first couple, right? That it was just that one at the end that was kind of like, oh, I guess you forgot about the Oracle, so there's the opening. Yeah.
It was certainly... I mean, you know, you don't have a ton of units, even with a 3-racks opener, to protect every single angle possible. Which, you know, 2 Oracles thing in the right angle is going to be pretty brutal. But that's also where you start getting missile turrets, which usually you really hope you don't have to.
Well, I would like to just comment on this real quick, guys. You see a lot of people asking about stream quality. Some people are saying they're seeing stutters. We have 0 drop frames for once, which is nice. And then I feel like we're getting some pretty smooth stream going today. So if you guys are having issues, my apologies. Try refreshing or maybe opening in another browser is my best solution / guess. But of course, the proxy robo is nice for building units faster on the side of the field. But if you want to warp in units faster, you need that gateway.
Yep. So this is...
Wait,
yeah,
isn't the role the gateway has to touch the pylon?
No. It just has to be in the pylon.
Does it? Okay, I thought for some reason it had to be touching the pylon. Okay, anyways, Robo.
Right, so this is something we saw Hero do, I think 2 Olimoleagues ago, which is disruptor drops, and I mean, he's a lot more committed. This it's so weird, right? Hero did this but without the gateways, and he just did like a disruptor drop normally into an expansion. It was the weirdest thing, all right. But to actually commit to this makes a lot more sense in my opinion. Commit to an attack. It's all one base as well, no natural, which is something that Ryung he is not going to scout. He went for a Marine opener because Reapers are so bad on Proxima, and you figure you know what they're going to do anyways. Why would you bother scouting? This is just going to be a complete surprise. And he's not even going to build a bunker. He's not even scared of the potential of a pylon rush. Okay, that was weird.
I was surprised he actually didn't use the shade to get him the vision to kill the SCV. A supply block would have been devastating against what's coming. Even just like 3 seconds of a supply block.
Yeah. And you get a Corrupt Pancake for the 28-month resub.
Woo! Alright, so... Oh, did we not... We didn't make this one with Game Art, did we? That feels bad, man.
Who's we? You mean Crank.
Crank, okay. Crank didn't do it. Frickin' Crank.
God.
But, so... Sometimes breaking the front door doesn't work on this map. That's where I really like this, though. if you're distracting the back with these disruptor shots, the army's not going to be watching the front gates. That's where you just walk in with stalkers and whatever, really. The Immortal especially will tear through those depots like nothing. So this disruptor, well, normally is like a bit of a harass mechanism through, like, this tactic is meant to keep the Terran at home, right? That's what it is 99% of the time. This instead is supposed to keep the Terran at home, but at like the wrong part of his home. Like, here, I need you to be in the living room right now so we can break into the kitchen.
Yeah, the observer sees where the army is too. I'm surprised he actually fit that in. That was way too early of a warp prism. Even if it was like a 2-base warp prism, like the Nexus barely fit in, you still have to expect something.
So, like, he kind of had his plans revealed. He still just goes through the front door? I guess kind of have to. The disruptor shot's now on cooldown. It's a little bit risky. Guardian Shield reduces a lot of damage, but I feel like the Marines from Ryung are actually performing really well here. Oh, the warp prism pickup's good, though. Keeps those adepts alive a little bit longer. Bunker given enough time to finish, however, but still really low, and is probably just going to die to the Immortal.
Yeah. That pickup micro was really awesome, but that was really where the Guardian Shield left, but it looks like Hurricane might just have this. Oh my god, he's so out.
Okay, well, that sucks. That's Ryung now with like less than a handful of units. Any amount of warpins at this point are going to be too hard to deal with. SCVs get pulled, and rightfully so. I mean, let's not forget that Disruptor's coming off cooldown any second now, so even the SCV pull might not be that good. Area of effect damage is cool.
The micro capability, okay, he doesn't pick up the sentries, but certainly he'll be looking to pick up the Immortal. There we go. Okay, just up the shot, but more weapons too.
I think it's just a little bit much. The Immortal being left, it's going to tear through the Marauders. He scans, but to what avail? GG's. Hurricane takes a 2-0 lead in the series. Oh, the Olimoleague retweeted my tweet. That's what I was memeing on so hard and diligently. We are going to go to a commercial break, though, guys. 2 minutes. When we come back, it might be the last game. Ryung is now officially on his last life. We'll see you soon. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Game number 3. So we get into the rest of the finals. Sorry, I was distracted by something there. My bad. It is possibly the last. You're so fucking cheeky. It is possibly the last life of this guy. So you got to cheer for the hero. He's not just in the bottom right. He's also in the top right. It's Ryung.
Ometer gets scouting. Ruined. In the top left. He is the Blue Protoss Hurricane.
We'll see how this goes. The fact that this gets revealed is obviously going to be a bit rough. But doesn't necessarily mean it's like an easy hold. Man, I take Ryung right now. He's got to play just Alt F4 and seeing that probe going to his base.
I'm done. See, the thing is that if they do scout it, I guess you could just leave it as a proxy proxy barracks. But the fact that they got a second gas already is, what do you do? Just leave it as a proxy factory and then try and expand? Like, it's bad news, basically. So Hurricane's going to be looking for the proxy to indicate what type it is, but also maybe he can stop the factory from being finished. Oh, the factory's going to be over here. Starport could probably be proxied still, though.
I feel like this has to be here, though, right? Like, this isn't like he's putting this down like this was part of the build. Like, the fact that even one Adept, one Zealot, anything coming across the map could end you, you have to have something. So the Zealot's going to march across the map. I don't think it's going to get the damage that it wants, but that is big. If we're going to put that across the map like he probably intended to, this would be already over.
You know what I just realized? Zealots are so slow without charge because they don't swing their arms, right? They're like Naruto running. But once they have charge, they swing their arms.
Do they? I don't know that I've ever noticed that.
Yeah. I'm like pretty sure, man.
I feel like I don't believe you, but I have no reason not to.
Believe me, I got this. I figured it out. Anyways.
Oh, this is an interesting way to make the best of a bad situation. So, whatever for the home defense. If he actually gets the bunker up, oh, this is going to be so close.
I think it's going to finish. It's going to finish. It's going to finish.
Get the SCV inside. Get the SCV inside. Oh, why would you not? Ryung.
Richmond would have done this better.
Well, so the thing is, though, jokes about the SCV or whatever aside, there's actually no way to sustain the bunker now. I feel like it was actually a big mistake losing the SCV. You're not getting another one across the map.
I'm not even kidding. I think that would have been done better. It's actually problematic. Even though the Marines are coming in here, the boss thought it should still be very, very likely. A few Marines still done a lot of damage, but there are units over here instead of defensive at home.
So
Starport was not proxied, by the way. It's in the back, actually, kind of hiding a tech lab here.
we'd also like to remind people that if a Cyclone has a full lock-on on Mothership Core and has no other assistance killing it, it can't actually kill a Mothership Core in the duration of a lock-on. Feels bad, man.
This follow-up Banshee might be the real kicker here. If he gets the Nexus, then that's fantastic.
You know what?
But if he doesn't, the Banshee's got some work to do.
Well, the Banshee, okay, that may or may not be good, right? I think right now, if those Cyclones actually catch the Mothership Core and kill this in the middle of the map, guaranteeing no overcharges at home, that's what's going to give Banshees so much more power.
I'm just still looking at the lack of a
This is so
observer.
stupid.
Yeah. He does have a robo, though. So it's not, totally game over if the Banshee appears.
I'm wondering, though, so he got that Nexus low. Like, this is not a minute amount of damage. He actually did some considerable damage to the natural. I'm wondering, though, like, you bring the Banshee to the main. The Stalkers are chasing it around like an otter chasing a butterfly. Then 2 Cyclones come in and kill the Nexus. Hell, 3 Cyclones can certainly do that.
That would be the best case scenario, and is technically possible. The 3rd Cyclone. But the Banshee, I mean, it's going to be a surprise, but it's got to last a little bit longer than just a surprise element, which I think it will. Again, still no Observer. So, and it's also going to be coming into the natural, which is going to be a big surprise, too. Observer finally on the way, but, that could be rallied to Ryung's base, not just staying at home. Army's going to move out and move back in. Okay, that's fortunate. The Observer did just pop, and it is rallied across the map, but he could grab it before it gets too far.
Yeah. I mean, a Banshee really doesn't have a lot of health, and while Stalkers don't deal bonus damage to it by any means, an overcharge, a couple Stalker shots, like this Banshee can be knocked out of the sky pretty quick. But he kind of jukes and jives the Observer that was actually going in a predictive path instead of the actual path. So a couple more probes die. Sadly, no game heart to show how cool that is before.
Seriously, guys? Seriously?
Yeah.
Alright, so the Banshee did not do enough damage, I don't think. 2 Banshees can seriously rack up the kills, though.
But so that's the thing, right? The Banshee didn't do a lot of damage, but if it has the army distracted over here, that means the second Banshee might get more done, because there is, I think, only 1 Observer in play. Oh, no, this is the second one, excuse me.
Yeah, I mean, it's 1 base. You gotta figure they're gonna go, if they're gonna get 1 Banshee,
Oh, well, both Observers are on this Banshee, actually, so this one will get away with quite a bit.
Oh. Well, that's what we call a mistake right there. Well, if the Observers are over here, then they're not scouting if Ryung is still on 1 base, and if his army is moving out, and there wasn't an Adept in the Zalaga either. It's a little bit late to that. So the front is just... It's a bit open. It's a little scary.
This is really weird, because, like, Cyclones and Tanks, like, this is going to go down to Immortals and Stalkers pretty quickly in terms of their damage, but there might just be enough out of Ryung. Like, there's no second, or third Immortal, excuse me, only 2.
That's a lot. Yeah, I'm quite worried about the Banshee getting, like, unnecessary amounts of damage done if it's not targeted, as the Stalkers are dealing with the other one that was main.
The Observer was just sniped, so that Banshee might have a little bit more free reign.
That's a good point. The War Prism is going to help out so much, being able to reposition those mortals, but also pick up key units. Pulls the probes, too.
Yo, the second Observer's way in the main, so he actually will not see this Banshee. Second one's out of energy, so it can't cloak, but one's going to get to sit there and shoot for a while. I think there still might just... Like, 3 Banshees is really good damage. I don't know how to make the situation.
Oh, well, they're running out of that 1 round of cloak, I suppose. Thinking of those bits, but he needs an Observer to come over here. Save the Stalkers from the War Prism. He needs the Stalkers.
Yeah,
he
of course.
lost like 20 plus probes, so he may not be able to remake them if he loses these. God!
Okay, so this is certainly problems, but it is 1 base. Like, that's, I think, a bigger issue than the damage that Hurricane took.
Yeah, it makes it to a more interesting game, for sure, because if Ryung can just squeeze out a couple more key units, maybe Hurricane can't do the same, as, Protean's a little bit more expensive. And he stopped mining gas, I guess, for a second. Well, I think Hurricane held enough, but Ryung is right to continue trying in this game, especially if the Banshees are alive.
Yo, shout out to that combo to kill a boss just now. Bacon Hero and Nexikuro and Monteune all working together.
Very nice. Very nice.
I just feel like right now there is a situation where Ryung wins this game if Hurricane's not paying attention for just like that wrong moment. But as far as what we're looking at the units tab, like it looks not that impressive.
I was thinking of ways to incorporate the Bitbox cheer emotes with our cheer emotes. We're looking at it later. The Stalkers get blown away by the tanks. Kind of their job right now, I would say. Just get rid of the Stalkers, there's no anti-air. Photon overcharge is still available, so the Banshees have to be a little bit careful, or isn't it?
Whoa, the SUV's preparing. I didn't even see these get pulled. I love this. I love this a lot.
Oh wow, the pylon goes down. That Mothership 4 only had 1 overcharge anyways. It might have been able to get that 1 Banshee, which would have been very helpful, mind you.
Nexus is definitely gonna die.
It is gonna die. Hurricane tried to do some counter harassment, but figured it wasn't worth it and went back home.
Is Ryung finding that hole for victory here? Like, look at this. There's like no attack. There's like 4 Stalkers. The Banshees were healed up.
Worried. He's got a micro with a War Prism, and well, he has to kill the tanks first, and then micro.
Dude, as long as the tanks get some shots on the Stalkers, 4 Banshees will start volleying everything down.
I mean, 4 Banshees would have been hard to micro against anyways, but oh jeez, I think Banshees might be the key here. 5
Banshees, Sky Terran. They just pick up what he can at Warp Prism, and I guess it'll juke and jive for a bit, but Ryung should not be distracted by this, in my opinion. Like, you really got to keep that momentum going. Heading towards the main, like, set up, snipe off the pylon with the tanks, Banshees protect everything else.
Oh, he went Stargate, man.
You know what the difference is? Well, yeah, right? 1 Phoenix shuts this down so hard, but I was going to say, if this ends up stalemating, Ryung still wins, because he can lift his command center and start mining from the natural. Hurricane's going to mine his main out soon.
Yeah. I'm trying to see a way Hurricane wins this, but without Phoenixes and without any way to splash air, I don't think he can get enough Stalkers. The Banshee has to run into Photon Overcharge. That's what they have to do.
This is hilarious.
And to be honest, at 6 Banshees, like, you could kill pylons fast enough.
The Mothership Core will eventually kill the tanks.
Actually, he stopped building Banshees. He's gonna stay at 5. Hurricane's gonna go back to try and do some return damage. This is probably his best bet here. He does take out a tank.
But the Banshee...
he's going for the Stalker, though.
If the Banshee goes home, like 1 Banshee goes home, he holds all of this, right? The Viking actually lands. The SCVs are doing what they can. It's against the depths, though. This is so down to the wire for like both players in very silly, weird ways. But yo, whoa, we just had like counter teamwork come in here. Mock Demon and Snipe Hunt working together to kill the boss.
1 Phoenix.
I love that we're having fucking teams now for these cheer modes. Like, that's actually so cool to me.
That is pretty cool.
Red team, blue team.
No more Stalkers or Adepts for you, or Sentries, I suppose. But that 1 Phoenix is Hurricane's last hope. You try to fit in that Stargate.
I don't think it works, though. There's so many Marines. Like, the 1 Phoenix would kill Banshees quickly if there was nothing to oppose it. But it has to pivot around the Marines. The Stalkers can't really just blink in and be like, YOLO. He actually scans with the Observer! Oh, that's it for detection!
Rip.
There's no Robo. There's no Oracle. There's no detection!
That's it.
Oh my god, just kill the pylon. Yeah, GG. Ryung, you beautiful bastard! What was that? GG!
Those Banshees, man. It's fucking finagling.
I'm so impressed that he made Banshees work, but I mean, this comes back, for me, this comes back down to he got scouted immediately with that proxy. Everything should have been shut down from that probe entering the base. Well done. Well done. But Hurricane's still up 2-1 and Ryung's still in his last life, so he's not exactly out of the woods just yet. We're going to go to a small commercial break, guys, as we get into what is, again, possibly the last game of the day. Shout outs to you guys, you bit warriors in chat. See you soon. Alright, folks, we're back. We don't actually have like a super swanky intro for this one as we get into Cactus Valley. Some people are discussing my reaction to the end of the game. Yo, whatever, guys. I don't mind having a bias when you see cool, fun games like that. Plus, just cheering for Ryung against that Protoss. It's the underdog story, man.
Well, you clearly hate Ryung. You called him a bastard.
Yeah, that's how that works.
Of
course, we had a brief moment of Apollo Cam, by the way. Such a cutie.
I know, right?
But okay.
Tired of being on cam.
Game number 4. Should have been a 3-0 if this had been conventional games, but Ryung was able to bring it back. In the top right, we do have the red Terran player. Nope. Damn it! The red Protoss player, Hurricane.
You did say top right, though. So. In the top left is the blue Terran. He is Ryung.
It's not one thing, it's another, man.
That's life. I guess that proxy is pretty successful. It's the second time he did it, and even though it was scouted, it still barely managed to work. I guess Hurricane, hindsight 2020 and all that, but just thinking back to all of the times we saw early scouts of proxies from Terran, Protosses have liked adding a Stargate as soon as possible, even if they've already gone for a Robo or anything like that. So that was probably his first mistake. But then, of course, a lot of things happened in that game that could have just slightly been better for Hurricane. For instance, like keeping the Delta at home, stopping the bunker. That would have already been less damage on the Nexus because it didn't do anything on the other side of the map.
Yeah,
cutting off reinforcements faster from the barracks could have also happened. You know, there's a ton of things, right? But it's not going to be what we're talking about because Cactus Valley, Hurricane's map choice, not going to be proxied.
Well, actually, so there is one thing worth rediscussing, and that is the Stargate issue, though, right? I think the Stargate, like, as much as we want to laugh and balance wine and whatever about, like, Adept Phoenix, it is a really crucial part of most builds, but when you don't have detection that's reliable, like an Oracle casting Revelation on those Banshees would have been infinitely better than those Observers at the end of the game, right? Not to mention the possibility of Phoenix and blah, 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 but I am wondering if... Well, if somebody was going to kill the Bit Boss, apparently. But I was going to say, I'm wondering if this comes down to a situation where, Hurricane just goes for standard. You know, we haven't actually seen him do Adept Phoenix, but it might be time to bust it out. Stargate comes down after all.
Stargate it is. He did go for Stargate on Newkirk, but then transferred almost right into Blink, kind of like the really old way you would see Stargate openers, which is to say not into Phoenix Adept, which has been very abusive lately.
By the way, thank you, Montiun, for the bits once again. He is the bit boss so far. We'll see how much longer that lasts, though. This could be the last game, after all.
It could be. Ryung is going to be going for, again, similar to that Newkirk game, 3 racks. No 1-1-1 here. His blitzes did not end up working in that game, despite having some potential for sure. Just Hurricane wasn't phased. He had a very important stasis trap, and he responded well to any drop attempts as well, which is kind of one of the difficult things about Cactus Valley is that even if you take the third base in a triangle, it still means that they can like hop from third to main very, very quickly. Even if you have Phoenixes, like it still might be worth for them to do because they can unload just quick enough, basically. So that or just regular drops, basically, can be really frustrating to deal with. But Hurricane, if you think about something else here, he already has a proxy pylon set up. So proxy on Proxima, but that was off one base.
Well, so this could even just be slow warp-ins. Maybe he'll dedicate to the gateway or not. We'll find out in a minute. Either way, it's right now the focus on how much can this first Oracle really do. Obviously deflected, and it's not going to be able to do much, but that's when that second Oracle comes in with it, and suddenly the Marine count feels, well, never good enough.
I wonder about this. Yeah, I was going to say, like, against a Widowmine drop build, or even like a 2-1-1 build, where you don't have tons of Marine production, this might be perfect. Just enough Adepts combined with the Oracles to tear down Marines without a bunker into a win. But with 3 racks, is it really worth losing the Oracles and the Adepts, potentially? I'm not sure. So I do like that he went for a third base and is leaving room open to maybe not commit to this.
All things considered, though, like, Hurricane does have another game in his back pocket if this fails. But he's going to go through the Adepts.
No.
Oh, he wasted a shot. That was huge. That was a big mistake. Yeah, the Oracles, they didn't even get much done in the main. The turret deflects this. This ended up being a pretty big failure of an attack and a really good defense out of Ryung. When the Oracles haven't been killed yet, but shutting the Adepts down, that was the core part of this that was going to snowball.
It's so unfortunate because he saw, like, what, 6 Marines? He's like, I can do this. And of course, Shades, with their visibility nerfed, he saw what we saw, which is, like, barely not seeing those Marines, just coincidentally with the camera. So to see 50 more Marines, I'm sure he wouldn't have shaded in, because threatening the shade in would have been enough. The Oracles would have gotten the same amount of damage they just did and lived to tell the tale, but the difference would be Adepts would also be alive. Now he doesn't have any Adepts, or very many of them, and they're not upgraded. And he doesn't have a pylon. Oh, no, he does have pylons, actually, at his third base, but it's dangerous.
Well, the thing is, like, those Adepts could have still died, but if they traded at least half decently, it wouldn't have been as rough, because, like, this counterattack, there's, like, full force of Marines coming in. Both the overcharges have been exhausted, And with combo shields and stim, like once the medevacs finally catch up to this army, right? Like this is going to be really tough to deal with.
Well, that is the thing, is that while this looks very, very scary, if medevacs are coming in right now, I'm like, damn, does Hurricane lose this? But because the starport only just finished and only just swapped to a reactor, Ryung knew he couldn't stand by. If he stims again, he's just way too close to losing all of his Marines to a handful of Adepts, because there's, you know, they're already halfway dead. So that gives Hurricane time. There's
the big reminder, though, that this already happened once in the series, and this looked like Ryung should have, could have, would have won, but not going to necessarily work.
Yeah.
Second time either.
Well, what was the once in a series? The Newkirk game?
Oh, I don't remember. He just set the combi shields in the sim. I don't remember which map it was.
Oh yeah, it was Newkirk. Yeah. But that was the game that also Oracles killed like 15 workers.
That's true. So shout out to Nexy Crow, good guy. We're gonna see who combos with him here in a second. If anyone picks up on that 1 health remaining on Montyun. That's Monty heals.
Oh, that's why he cast Plague, because at least with 1 health.
Plague!
You guys are
I love
so
it.
Clever.
Dude, Nexy Crow, that is clever as hell. It's been a while since we've seen oh man, Megadog he snagged that up real quick.
Yeah, he did. Bacon here, a little too late to the draw.
But yeah, Plague, man, I actually forgot about that. You're nailing it here with the spell. Demi earlier, Plague now.
I got this. I really should be casting Top Fantasy. And StarCraft.
I need someone to do like a Pokemon reference, like Hyper Fang doing half the health, so I can get that one.
There you go.
Anyways, +1 actually still did pretty good, even though he did have to disengage from this. I think the problem is though, like when it comes down to the core of it, guys, balance whining aside, just objectively, I think the combination of Phoenix and Adepts can be really hard to fight, no matter what the Terran has in their army, and the Oracle's alive on top of all of this. Maybe that's stasis traps. Maybe that's extra kills, or maybe that's just them going across the map to kill SCVs while all of this goes down. Like, the fact that those Oracles were never killed makes everything that's here already scary even scarier.
This is brutal, too. Like, Hurricane isn't only going to potentially take an overwhelming lead just so that the Adept fight, although maybe not here.
Oh, this is bad.
We should have waited.
Widow Mines are going to go off. Great shots from the Widow Mines. Ryung should be able to clean this up. Problem is, though, with the Phoenix coming from the backside, there's no escape.
Wow, I really thought Ryung actually had a decent chance there.
Oh, Widow Mines, please.
Even that one's gonna kill the Adepts. The Phoenix are gonna give chase, and I was gonna talk about how Hurricane was hoping for this exact thing to happen. It's happening, and now he has a proxy pylon with a gateway to just warp in immediately. Like, no warp prism needed.
So
it's brutal.
It's hard to watch moments like that because in everything that makes sense to me from all the games of StarCraft we've cast, that should have been a fight Ryung should have been able to take. Blows me away that it wasn't the case. I really thought Hurricane not waiting for those 6 extra Adepts was the difference maker of those Marines having enough damage to snowball the other direction with the Widow Mines too. But this is why I would lose against Phoenix Adept as Terran. And while Ryung is losing, I really strongly believe he is, unless these Widow Mines get godlike shots and they're not in position to. He doesn't realize the gateway was added onto that pylon. Yeah, the Adept's actually swooping on in. Anything that tries to defend is going to get picked up. Comes back with everything. I mean, there's a lot of Widow Mines here. And honestly, if he gets hits, this might kill the Adepts, but it still leaves the problem of the Phoenix. They are going to get hits. Decent hits, too. They shred the Adepts. Oh!
Got that sentry as well, and Hurricane made a mistake. You know, he actually pulled back thinking that Ryung was going to base trade him.
Yeah.
And then realized it wasn't the case, so he came back, and it ended up being a lot awkward. Now, Ryung is still on 2 bases versus 3, and Hurricane being on 3 bases still has a lot of room for error to remake Adepts, which are cheaper than other options, I suppose, that Protoss has. But it is like that time where Ryung has an upgrade lead for like 20 more seconds and is getting, you know, good tech with his Widow Mines and Liberators. Hurricane's got to be a little more careful.
It's nice that Phoenix are so cheap, combined with the actual gas cost versus mineral cost of the Adepts. This is so dangerous. This is so dangerous. So I was just going to mention, he just went from being down like 50 supply to catching back up real quick. But Ryung does get the drop-off.
Shades are so bad. I think old Shades would have seen that and he would have reacted just a little bit sooner, but even then I think it would have been too late.
There's Widow Mines down. I mean, the Adepts are, again, really scary, but there's still those Phoenix that might come in from the backside. A lot of Adepts come in now, and they're looking for a Widow Mine hit. That's going to kind of ghetto EMP most of that army. Second Widow Mine's here, good to go. Hoping for that hit. I don't know if he can still take that trade, even if it does hit.
Yeah, it's dangerous for Ryung now. There's no retreat, and all the Adepts are here.
This is all the medevacs. Like, he can't afford to rebuild much of this, so getting away with what he can. He actually ends up minimizing his losses pretty well, I'd say.
Yeah, I thought he was going to get that other medevac too.
Big warping on the other side of the map, by the way, so that's going to go into the SCV line. Right at the same time, Ryung started to transfer over and take a third base. Those SCVs are destined to die. This might just be Ryung's last attack.
The Militia Corps is at a position, I suppose. There's a lot of pylons, but there might just be enough Adepts anyways, and Adepts going into that natural, delaying the third base, denying it, really. Adepts do get just shreked here by the overwhelming amount of bio.
And a lot of the Phoenix went down. A big part of this was like a good chunk of Hurricane's army was not at home, right? Warps in a good chunk of Adepts elsewhere, but...
Potent overcharge, all like the Militia Corps is full of energy, so still... And there's no more medevac, so every sim hurts.
It's full of BS.
Hurricane is winning a game that goes on for a minute longer, and I think it'll go on for a minute longer. Even like 30 seconds longer.
33 SCVs died behind this. I mean, Ryung's left with mules, and it's not 3 CC mules, it's 2 CC mules. And I feel like this Oracle actually could be the death blow as it goes across the map to kill what little mining there's going to be.
Oh, yeah, that would feel really bad. One more sim is going to hurt so many of these units.
Oh, man, but he is tempted to use it. He's like getting favorable trades with these Widow Mines constantly going off on the Adepts like this. Like, it kills me because if I'm going to be critical for a moment, I think Hurricane's playing rather sloppy with his Adepts. He's eaten so many Widow Mine shots, and if the game was a little bit closer, maybe in terms of balance, I think we'd see a player with bad control losing out instead of winning hard.
Ryung is out of luck here. His army is too bruised, too small.
Yeah, like I said, that was gonna be his last attack. Like, just because he's got nothing else to build, nothing else to make, I think he's just out. And this is so hard to watch because the army supply is close, but at the same time not. Like, the numbers are similar, but that's not at all close in terms of strength.
Yeah. That Oracle never came in, but the Adepts will.
Actually, how much have died so far this game? Oh my god. I'm so tilted looking at these numbers. 101 Adepts have died. That's how poorly controlled they've been. Like, and I'm not really not getting into the topic of balance. This is just simply outlining that Hurricane's been sloppy with his control. And I guess on one hand, you could look at it like it's impressive. Like, sloppy control and he's still winning because he's still playing well behind it. But on the other hand, it's like, sloppy control, why isn't he being punished for this? Certainly not because Ryung's not trying.
There were certainly times that was sloppy control. I don't think there's any denying that. There's no like, well, it looked like sloppy control, but really it was to do like, no, like he definitely made mistakes.
He wasn't splitting Adepts. He was just like eating Widow Mine shot, like he was a hungry hippo. Either way, this is gonna be the death blow. No amount of Widow Mine shot's gonna save him here. Mules were Ryung's lifeline literally, and those get picked off. GG. Ladies and gentlemen, Hurricane will be the Olimoleague champion. Nicely done though, because like we said, it's as much as I want to get into like total balance wine for a moment, I will not, because I do want to respect the fact that Hurricane actually got a win. This is a guy who's been missing wins for a while, and this isn't just like, okay, he performed well versus like Innovation in the round of 8. Like, he won this week's Olimoleague, so 2 thumbs up for Hurricane. Absolutely.
Oh god, I just went to the Olimoleague Wikipedia to look at if he's won any before. I knew that they redid it, and I saw Artosis say it looked good, but I do not agree.
Oh, is Wikipedia different now?
Yeah. You should take a look at it. It's really weird too, because I think I have ad block on.
Okay, hang on. I'll screen region this. We'll look at it together. Stream. I just googled Olimoleague SC2, so we'll go to the Wikipedia for Olimoleague together.
Hurricane's placed occasionally, but never first.
Oh, it's like, I don't know. I don't hate it, but it's definitely different, and I don't like new things.
If it's new, it better be really good, I guess, is the best way I think of it. Because like I also like don't mind it. It's not like, oh, what is this? But it's just like, why? And also, as I said, I don't know if this is me or not. Is there anything in that bottom left box beneath the contents for you?
No, it's just empty, and that is a little bit annoying.
Oh, okay. It was like, because I do have an ad. I don't have ad block on.
I just know that people stopped trying to update our Wikipedia because we started casting so much, which I think is hilarious. We're probably the only instance of that on that entire website.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't really use Wikipedia myself, so like I'll use it to look up results, but that's about it.
I've been more interested in using it, not just for myself, but for other people, because I'm just like, there are a lot of historical events that are going to get lost in time, I suppose, that I think are interesting. Like the best of 69 are not. It's not going to be on either one of our Wikipedias, but it should be.
The best of 69 is definitely one of our, I think, landmarks. It also kind of sucks because if I were to actually want to do a Wikipedia, I would want to make sure it includes stuff like how we save the mini map, sort of. Only for them to break it later with transparency. The unit sounds like it kills me knowing that we're not going to get credit for some of the really cool stuff we did for benefiting the game.
I mean,
like it's not even going to give us credit. The income graph that would not exist without us, straight up.
Yeah, actually, I think that's definitely something important to put in the BaseTradeTV one. But the trick to Wikipedia is that you can edit yourself, and for the most part, they're not too stingy.
Well, like I said, I don't really care about it that much. I'm just saying if I did.
I care. Historical accuracy. Credit when it's due.
All right, well, guys, girls, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you enjoyed this week's Olimoleague. Congratulations to Megadog1324. I guess I'll message you with the portrait code prize thing in a bit, so keep an eye on Twitch. Although, really, I think you owe all of that to Nexikuro for that playing it. But yeah, that's going to wrap up the streams. I hope you guys enjoyed this week's Olimoleague. It was pretty cool, pretty fun. Tomorrow, we're coming back with the BTSL. Again, this month, we're trying new times for both the BTSL and for the Corsair Cup. So the Corsair Cups are on Fridays. The BTSLs are on Wednesdays now. If you really want to look at everything we're doing, though, go to the events page on Twitch. Actually, I'm gonna go to that while we're still all together. So if you go to twitch.tv/BaseTradeTV like you normally would, like you're watching the channel, having a good time, having a party. What's up, everybody? I always hate how that doesn't fit when I don't crop it. If you go to the top, there's this new awesome tab called Events. This is like the best thing Twitch has done, in my opinion. So this is, oh, hey, we had 2,000 people. I didn't even know. Awesome. I'm going to be updating this vigorously. If we change dates on anything, if we plan new stuff out, everything we do is going to be on this Events tab. So if you go through this, it's one thing to look at a glance and be like, oh yeah, VSL's coming up on the 13th and the 14th, and so is the Corsair Cup and blah, blah, blah. But more importantly, you can set a reminder. You can be like, hey, Twitch, remind me about this. You can share it through Twitter, of course, too, and all this other cool stuff. But please use this event calendar. I really want to drive home people using this. This is huge for keeping up to date with what we're doing. I think, well, we are probably still in the process of fixing up our website. I think the events calendar, though, is like the #1 best thing that Twitch has come out recently. And I was gushing about this with one of my friends who works at Twitch, and he told me like, oh, we got better stuff than this planned. I'm like, it's gonna be really hard to top this. I think like legit the events calendar for at least an esports stream is like probably one of the best things you guys have done.
Well, I mean, they've done well before. Amazon Prime,
Twitch Prime came out of nowhere too. That was such a win for all the content creators on the site.
Yeah.
We're
not
actually
exaggerating when they said they're doing good stuff.
We had some subs actually that I think we missed. You want to grab those while I start closing stuff up here?
Okay. Who did we? Oh, actually, yeah, you're right. Well, a minute ago we had Against the Wind, new sub. Thank you very much. Nas Philosophy sub for 4 months in between the bit wars, Prime and whatnot.
That's probably why we missed it.
Lots of bits.
I like the
Bobble Convolute for 38 months.
I like to think of like the great bit wars, like the Cybertron wars and stuff like that.
And then BCQD for 10 months. Did anyone notice the insane skill increase from every Protoss player recently? Kappa 123.
So there was an interesting thought on this too, right? Like whatever for balance for a moment. I'm not talking practicality, but just like cool outside the box thinking where someone, I don't know if it was Reddit or Team Liquid or Reddit, but someone's like, why don't Terrans just make Thors to deal with the Adept Phoenix problem, right? And I think the issue here is like, I understand where that thought process is, like use it for the Phoenix, but it's not the Phoenix that are necessarily the problem. It's a lot more on the Adepts. And I feel like, I'm honestly, I'm not a game designer. I don't know what you do to fix it, but it does look stupid in some situations.
Yeah. Oh, hey, man, wait until you see TY use a Thor.
Hey, TY's using battle cruisers, man. He's using battle cruisers over Thors.
He also used the Center Tower. That one guy got so much karma.
We need to do like TY versus Biol, get like an extended show match going. Just see where we can push the limits.
That would be an interesting one.
Because while we're talking about balance here and there for whatever for Protoss, Biol's actually been doing some really cool stuff with Zerg, which I've been enjoying a lot lately.
Yeah, I loved his games yesterday.
Well, guys, wait, what? For which?
For the SSL?
Oh, I didn't see those. I was like, what are you talking? Okay. Anyways,
I'm pretty sure.
Thank you all so much for watching today. I hope you enjoyed the show. We are done though. So, what's our next cut? Tomorrow, BTSL. Come back for that.
And then Kitten.
Oh yeah, Zombie Girl gets Nugget, dude. I'm actually, because I'm gonna be asleep when you go get Nugget, right? If you don't actually tweet like a bunch of pictures for me to wake up and favorite, I'm gonna be so mad at you.
Okay, I'll keep that in mind.
All right. Look forward to Zombie Girl's new kitten. In fact, wait, are you even gonna be able to cast? It's a kitten, don't you have to like take a lot of care of it and stuff, or?
Well, we start casting at 7 in the morning, and I'm not allowed to. We can't pick her up until.
Oh right,
11.
you're getting her after the cast. Excuse me, I thought you were getting her today. Was my brain fart.
Nope.
And then of course you have the day off because Maynard's gonna be casting VSL, so there you go. Cat hype.
Yep.
Look how happy she is. Like I never see her this happy unless we're talking about cats. Okay, so again, Megadog, stick around and chat, dude. I will hit you up. Nexikuro confirmed, absolutely good guy. Thanks for watching. Have a good day. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye.
Bye.